Untold masses of humanity are teeming throughout the stars. In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there is only war.
Hello everyone and welcome to Fable Scraps' DoomLore, a 40k story. My name is Nicotine, I'm one of the people here at Fable Scraps. I want to give a very big thank you to all of our Twitch viewers. If you're listening to the show on podcasting apps such as Spotify or Stitcher, know that we record this show live every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/FableScraps. Our live audience has the benefit of affecting the show in meaningful ways through the deployment of funds in exchange for fate points. Each of our players have a pool of fate points, and they may draw on this pool for things like re-rolls or to make critical saving throws. It's a huge help, and big thank you to all of our Twitch viewers who have done just that. You can catch our VODs on Twitch and YouTube, and you can keep up with our current events at our Twitter account and Discord. All the links for those are below. fablescraps.com/Discord should lead you in all the right places. That being said, we're going to go around and introduce everybody, and yeah, let's start with Ollie. If Ollie sounds good, let's get some ones in chat.
Hello, I'm Ollie, Ollie Rant on Twitch and Twitter. I stream and run Dungeons & Dragons and roleplay things, all with a lot of homebrew. If you like the kind of writing that goes into this show, because it's kind of a unique, well, not that unique, take on Warhammer 40k stuff, then you like what I do with D&D. Also creating a board game series called Schism that is coming out very soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ollie. Next up is Lucid Fox.
Hello, my name is Lucid Fox. I'm currently exploring ways to turn every character on Fable Scraps, both shows, into a non-fungible token. So come buy some NFTs on twitch.tv/LucidFox.
Thank you so much, Lucid. If Lucid sounds good, let's get some twos. Next up is Lock the Raven. If Lock the Raven sounds good, let's get some threes.
Hi, I'm Lock the Raven. I don't really have anything to say that's funny or cool, but I am a variety streamer on Twitch, and you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Lock the Raven, spelled like it sounds.
Awesome. Thank you, Lock. Next up is Chelsea. If Chelsea sounds good, let's get some fours.
Yes, I am Chelsea, Chelsea Manning. I am XY Chelsea on, or XY Chelsea 87 on Twitch, XY Chelsea on Twitter, and my hobbies include stealing NFTs from people like Who's It.
Good luck. They have a digital signature.
That's why
You guys have just been
I'm
reading
literally
the campaign notes.
I am literally a cryptographer. So,
I mean, you know what?
but I'm not your cryptographer.
Battle me out.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. Next up is Enovan.
Hello there, I'm Enovan. I'm a streamer here on Twitch, and whilst I don't know much about NFTs, I do know a fair amount about Bionicle, and I think that's just as worthy.
I can sell you some Bionicle NFTs, Enovan.
Thank you so much.
You don't want to get
Enovan.
sued by the Lego Corporation.
I'll talk to you
They'll
they
later.
don't
get
care
you.
about
They'll turn
that
you to
brand
bricks.
If Enovan sounds good, let's get some fives. If I sound okay, let's get some sixes. My name is Nicotine. I do a lot of roleplay on my own channel. That's twitch.tv/Nicotine. And yeah, I stream every day. However, I want to bring things over to Ollie to give us a little recap on what happened last week before we dive right in. So Ollie, take it away.
Okay, so last week was the aftermath of the week before, where Caius and Yen took down a radio tower in this on the Shrine World to stop
Allegedly.
the spread of allegedly
Allegedly, one of us
stop the
did it.
spread. Yeah, who knows what exactly happened that day, right? after doing that, you needed some time to rest and recover, and we're trying to work out the next thing to do. You have a mission from your Inquisitor to investigate a kind of illegal currency that has formed on this planet that is undermining a lot of things and is causing just strange cultural shifts. But as is sometimes the case, your tech priest has other ambitions, and in doing search for this rogue currency, led you to an extremely old tavern in the bowels of the city where there had been a murder, and a specifically brutal one. It was shaken me to the core. You tried to chase the killer, who was still in the building, discovering them to be, well, you don't exactly know. They used some kind of terror grenade on you, forged on a terror planet made of suffering, and actually, Chelsea got to have the badass moment where, you were the only person not to get affected by the grenade. You could chase down the attacker, and you got a really good view of them. The only thing you can really know is that they're big and they're fast, and if they're human, they're not a kind of human you've ever encountered on any of your travels through the Imperium, and that goes for pretty much all of you. Shortly after this event, you know, it took a lot of time to recover, a lot of time to try and work out what may have been happening. You actually got a request from your Inquisitor Balifo, to return to base for updates. And that's pretty much where we start off, with Risa kind of leading the party away from this public house where the murder was. You have no idea where exactly the murderer ran off to. You have a rough direction. So this is your current course of action. Unless any of you have anything else you'd like to do, or any discussions that you want to make on the way to the Inquisitor's office.
Are y'all good?
Yeah, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, I think I'm all right.
Just a little shaken.
Blinding. All I saw was a blinding light, and this large figure ran off. So
Yeah.
we obviously got ambushed.
It's a real jerk.
Sucks.
Did you get a good look at him, or just that they were large?
Large, wearing a black coat of some, or a dark colored coat of some variety, or a cloak of some variety.
Right.
And obviously they went through a wall, so quite physically capable. I almost fell. I almost fell to my death.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're
Again.
all glad you didn't.
Yeah, good job. In not falling to your death. Not a good job in not stopping the guy, but to be honest, we all didn't really do too good job in that.
I think we should get back to the Inquisitor as quickly as possible. We don't want him to be kept waiting.
Very well.
Okay. You can make your way through the city of Pask, up towards the administrative building that is being used by the Inquisitor Balifo. Just to remind you, you know, this used to be a fairly bombed out building on an area of the city that, well, Orcish munitions could actually reach. It's not really protected by a nest of other buildings. But it has been recovered to a good deal of its former glory and is now kind of a humming hive of activity. It also sits right before this large rockcrete supply depot, which feeds other parts of the city, which is a really good place for an Inquisitor to have as a base. When they are, especially when they're one doing a lot of paperwork, like Inquisitor Balifo is. You guys are let in and head on up. And when you... No discussions before you enter the Inquisitor's office? Okay. When you enter the Inquisitor's office, not only is Inquisitor Balifo there, but there is another individual beside him. Balifo is not sitting at the desk. He is standing over it, leaning over it. Balifo being a fairly young-seeming man, the person next to him is a much older woman. Very slender, kind of pointed features, bald. Her eyes have been replaced with cybernetic lenses that aren't, they can't turn, they're just kind of this cold, unfeeling gaze that stares upon the lot of you. The garb would suggest that they are also an Inquisitor. They do have the right sort of pendants and engravings on their equipment. And there is kind of you will feel her gaze upon you. Balifo does kind of look up and doesn't look too amused to see you. All of you, enter. I think we have quite a bit to discuss.
Greetings, Inquisitor Balifo. Risa would just do the salute.
You'll press a button on the desk and the door will shut behind y'all. And it will lock. It's a shkn, yeah, right? What do you know about the felling of the broadcast tower at the top of the city?
He's just gonna slump back a little bit behind Ryza.
I turn and look at Ryza.
Like, the most, not suspicious at all way for you two to act.
I was in the vicinity of this tragedy.
Well, no one was hurt, other than the potential productivity of having such a tower in place. Are you sure that's all it was? That you were in the vicinity?
I mean, we did see Paisella leaving the tower at some point.
Ravella Pacello is now missing. Which is curious to say the least. I don't believe she was damaged when that tower fell. There have been no bodies found within the tower other than mindless servitors. But it is definitely curious.
Of course.
It wasn't orcs that destroyed the tower. And why would anyone have need of destroying a tower sending out Imperial broadcasts? Right? If you have any information, I would need you to share it with me.
I agree with you. I think it's very strange that the last time she was seen was leaving the tower. We should probably look into that.
There's a scoff from the female Inquisitor beside Balifo. And Balifo kind of puts up a hand slightly, and he'll turn, and he'll press a button on the wall behind him. As is often the case in Imperial architecture, you kind of don't notice what is machinery and what's artwork, but the tableau behind him kind of open to reveal a data screen, and a fuzzy data pict will be shown of an Aquila lighter with Rysa leaping out onto the side of the tower and kind of pulling Yen along, and also Caius is visible in that as well. It's y'all, there's no. While it's far enough away that you could go, it's not us. You're still wearing the same clothes that are on the image. It's fuzzy, but not that fuzzy. And he won't turn back to you, but he will just say, explain to me again what you know about the felling of Ravella Paisello's broadcast tower.
I would certainly.
Yin hides more behind Riser.
I would certainly call that in the vicinity.
I was under the care of a cryogen at the time.
Ohm 13 was not involved. I will say that the broadcasts from this particular tower, should they attempt to be reviewed, show a striking proclivity for heresy.
That's your explanation, then?
This
You
planet,
destroyed it for heresy.
This planet and its inhabitants are unfortunately straying from his Emperor's light. I'm shocked that your office hasn't known.
I look a little surprised myself. I'm just sort of like, when I look at Rice and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, this is gonna be a check for Risa, actually. Let me just check your sheet and see what skill would make sense. I mean, you could use Intimidate. I think Intimidate or Charm or Command even. One of the things that you have right now, if you remember, Risa, if you use a Fellowship skill, right? Because every skill you can change whether it's what attribute you use for it. Your armor gives you a +10 bonus to any Fellowship checks on people who's loyal to the Imperium, which would absolutely take place if you use a Fellowship skill. So if you did Intimidate, actually you can't do Intimidate Fellowship, but if you did Charm or Command Fellowship, that would make sense. But you don't have training in those skills.
Yeah, it
so
looks like it would equal out, so
rough.
it'd be better to do an Intimidate one.
It's a very different vibe, but you can go ahead and do it.
I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to flex my weight with the Inquisitor.
You kind of are. You kind of just did. Subtly, though. I'm gonna need a roll of some kind from you.
Yeah.
All right. What about? I'll do a. You said. I'll do a charm roll.
Charm Command or...
I'll do a charm roll. Yeah, sure. I'll do a charm roll.
Yeah, Charm is very much to like,
I'll do a
hey,
charm.
I'm calling you out, but because I'm loyal.
I'm on
rather
your
than
side.
the-
We're on the same side.
Yeah, that's the vibe of like a charm check
Okay,
here, rather
yeah.
than like
And you said that's a plus
trying
10?
to... Yes,
Okay.
you have a +10 because of your armor's display of the Golden Throne.
Oh no.
Well, that's 4 degrees of failure. You could use a fate point to re-roll that, although it's going to be pretty hard to reach due to a lack of training.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use a fate point.
Balafo at this point turns and just stares at you. And while you know that no one can see through your helmet,
Oh no.
you can really feel him
Oh, that's
staring into your
so much worse.
soul.
Okay.
Really goofed it this time, Risa.
Sir.
Oof.
What are you
Can I-
losing?
You are
I-
not privy to the specifics of what we do or do not know. May I remind you that while you serve my will on this planet, you are not officially part of the Inquisition. Were it be necessary, you would be writ from any records as if you never existed, and once you leave this planet, you are nothing. Unless you serve the will of the Inquisition appropriately and are given such an honor. Something that must be accepted by all 3 Inquisitors on this planet, he says, looking to the other one. Something you would best remember.
Understood.
I nod.
the woman is going to speak up. Will say, do you believe it's possible that Rivello Paisello is a heretic? Like, to the party.
Yes, absolutely.
We have reason to believe.
Not only do I believe she's a heretic, but I believe she's amassing an army to fight for her against the Emperor's loyal.
Well, for a moment before this incident occurred, myself and Risa were on the street, and we had a very suspicious encounter on the street, and I de-escalated the situation to try to prevent it from getting out of hand, but things got out of hand anyway.
De-escalation is the situation we need. That's why I'm on this planet. We're already besieged by orcs. And the hovering of the Adeptus Mechanicus above this planet does not bode well either. If there is to be insurrection on the streets, this planet would rupture, and the only way to give it any purpose in the continued Imperium would be complete and utter exterminatus. Something we would like to avoid. Is there any proof? We know that Ravella is a influential individual. We need proof. Proof is how we can do this without turning the city to full-on civil war.
Do we still have the data slates that we took from her room?
There was a kind of manifesto, but it was encoded.
Yeah.
You gave it to a sister dialogist at the
dang.
Arbite Tower.
Risa,
Haven't checked on her
Do
for a
you-
while.
Yeah.
Risa,
Yes.
do you recall the machine that approached us?
I do. We were approached.
How were those? What did she say to us? And how do you think she was controlling that machine?
Ravello Paisello has a interesting quality of constantly being around. Incredibly militarized technology for a diplomat or a figurehead or government official. Someone ostensibly running a broadcast tower is somehow seemingly at every turn when we were looking for stolen military equipment or watching a militarized servitor lumbering down a city street. We have a manifesto of some kind. We're having it decoded at the Arbite Spire. It will take time to build this case, but I believe it can be done over time.
I think Yen's
Then it
also
will be done.
familiar with her having like full like advanced military gear too, yeah?
Yeah, you haven't seen her fight.
Yen, would you like to clue in the Inquisitor to the nature of Paisello's gear?
Jump on in there, big guy.
Well, I mean, I got the best look I could. Remember, I was getting my ass kicked in a sense.
Sure. She looked to have a advanced military technology, including a personal shield generator.
Oh yeah, she did, didn't she?
Mhm.
Yeah, she had a shield generator that kind of made the fight unfair, to be honest. It's meant to be like a one-on-one duel, and it was just kind of unfair, to be honest.
He would have won.
She write that
otherwise,
down.
yeah.
She plays dirty.
Yeah.
Her legs went all the way up.
If she plays dirty, then her disappearance is part of her plan. I was wondering why she would simply disappear rather than soothe the city after destruction.
Whatever she's planning, it's more beneficial to appear dead at this time.
As it can be. The third Inquisitor on this planet, Inquisitor Thane Belwrought, knew Pycello well, and the governors of this planet. When he came here, after centuries of service to the Inquisition, he took an overseering role. Now, he is not here today, despite our summons. You may be able to better find him, and he will be able to give you more insight into Pycello's... Well, I believe he's known her since she was a girl. So, if anyone will know more about the specifics, it would be him.
I see. And, what is his name? Full name?
Inquisitor Thane Belwrought, and he will press a sort of button, and it'll show up on the screen. This elderly man, right? You know, you've got kind of the young Inquisitor, the middle Inquisitor, and then this is a guy who, despite rejuvenation technologies that could make humans live, 1,000 years or more, he's old, right? He's an old guy, kind of not, when you see an old person where you can tell they were strong in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of that vibe. There's also an address that appears on the screen, and he will press a sort of button that prints the address onto a small data slate, and he will just throw it at, I guess, a riser, but really just sort of at the group. Unwilling to get any closer.
Alright. We'll continue our investigation. We should also debrief you on the events which took place under the city about an hour ago.
Go on.
Arlene, perhaps it
Yes?
would be best if you explained the situation, given your vantage point.
For which situation?
The situation which took place an hour ago under the city, in the tunnels.
Oh, yes. That one. So I saw this figure, which attacked us with some kind of device that flashed blue, and it knocked everybody kind of out of their wits for a second. I was a little disoriented, but I ran out to get out to the window. I started climbing out to try to get to the next floor, and this large figure burst through the wall, just as a large humanoid figure wearing a black or a dark cloak, and just jumped out and ran off, and I almost fell.
The perpetrator used
Why were you...
certain kind of weaponry, an explosive of some kind that affected us psychologically. We were able to collect one image of the figure. Ohm13, will you provide the Inquisitor the image, please?
Will the servo skull that's hovering around Ohm will go and connect into the big pict screen, and then link the image up.
It's a lot creepier blown up, because it's almost like the pict screens capture it in watercolor, so it's not pixelated. It's kind of like blurry and smudged. This grinning pale face just barely visible under the hood. Balafo looks to the other Inquisitor.
We suspect this heretic was also responsible for a murder in the lower city in a tavern. I've questioned several individuals who maintain that this suspect, this heretic, is capable of superhuman feats. Strength, agility, speed.
His brow furrows and his look kind of deepens in seriousness. This is unlikely connected to Pycello. This is too brutal. This is too loud. Which means there is another agent on this planet. Which continues to beg the question, why Pask? Why all of this? Pycello, if she is acting in heretical ways, she is likely doing it for personal power and some kind of selfless thoughts for her people. What is this thing doing on this planet? Why, Ohm 13, are the Mechanicus hovering over this planet? Why are the orcs continuing their stay on this planet? That question is, of course, the easiest to answer, but it's another rogue element, and they're adding up. And this planet is reaching its breaking point. I would need you to continue all of your research. We need answers and we need solutions.
Understood. We'll begin with...
That will be all.
Of course. Understood. Risa just
But
gets up.
remember... Yeah, he'll like speak after you like get up and get ready to move. He'll say, and he'll switch the capture back to like you guys on the tower. The city knows your faces. The city knows what you're here to do. If you continue to be seen fighting Pycello in the open like this, then she might get what she wishes for.
Understood.
We've had to scrub this information from the Arbite records to stop a hunt against a lot of you.
It won't happen again, sir.
See that it does not.
I have this look of skepticism on my face.
Risa gets up, walks out of the room, scruffs Yen along the way. Once we're outside of the doors, I just look at everyone and say, all right, we have to be a little quieter about this.
Told you so.
We'll try our best. You know,
No,
quietness
Yen.
isn't really our specialty.
Risa kneels down to become face to face with Yen. No, Yen.
Sweet, gentle Yen.
Understand me well. We must be quieter about this.
I'll try my best.
Risa just looks over at Caius to make sure that Caius is paying attention.
I've got my arms crossed at this point.
Yeah, no, Bryce, I agree. Yen, we gotta be quiet about this, buddy.
All right.
I mean, I'm just saying we haven't been very quiet in the past. This is.
Hey. Listen, it's
Risa,
going guns
Yes.
blazing, pal. That's what I'm saying.
Erling,
Oh yeah,
um, you're not the most subtle touch either, yourself.
I understand.
Yeah.
But it wasn't me who blew up a building.
Yeah, it wasn't me either.
All right.
Well,
Our first step is to return to the Arbite Spire, collect our manifesto, and then we'll return to our investigation to Inquisitor Fane Belrod. Sound good?
While they're talking, Ohm's servo skull will head off in the direction of the Mechanicus ship,
Well,
just to go.
Like out the
Just to go.
window.
there it goes.
Yeah, just leave.
part of your solar system just, yeah, never mind.
It's like something got knocked out of orbit, right, Yen?
I do not understand what you mean.
It's all right. It's all right. 13. That's fine. Let's go. So to the
Ohm will
Arbite.
exchange a glance with Euron, like,
Yeah, Euron will kind of like... Euron can't whisper. It's always the same fairly loud screeching noise.
He's set to scream. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you make a servotoll or a servitor, it's like whisper or scream. Those are the options. He will kind of hover behind the party and say loud enough for everyone to hear. It's like, we'll be quiet then. I will be watching this with great interest. To the Arbeit Spire?
To the Arbeitsspire.
Yeah.
To the Arbeit
Stealthily.
Spire.
Yeah, you guys head towards the
Hey.
Arbeit Spire. It's actually very close to where you are right now. As you travel, this is a shrine world, so even the streets are, lined with churches and little shrines and things to the Emperor. And what you see, while you're heading towards the Arbeit Spire, a bit before you get to this kind of dense marketplace that the Arbeit Spire is built around, or built kind of in on top of, it's hard to tell because everything is so ancient. You see a display of several individuals whipping themselves with Cat of Nine Tails-esque whips. Their blood drips from their backs onto the ground, and there is a mantra that's being repeated, and it's not a well-prepared mantra, so it's different every sort of time, but the vibe you get without any kind of checks necessary is that they're asking for atonement and for the criminals who destroyed the broadcast tower to be found. That's what they're kind of flagellating themselves for, is for the Emperor to hear them and find these heretics that are trying to act against the will of the city and the church as they know it. Of course, such sights are not incredibly uncommon.
I was gonna say,
But
this
the
is
fact-
like the non-church version of a flagellant, right?
They are definitely connected to the churches here.
Oh,
Yeah. If you wanted to give me a further check, it would
well, I
really
could do
be
scholastic lore, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say scholastic lore about the ecclesiarchy would be what it would work as, and you automatically have that. How does your ability work? You basically know every scholastic and common law.
Yeah. And get a plus 10 to it.
Yeah, go ahead and make a ecclesiarchy law check with a plus 10. Make sure that you, on your sheet, count as being trained in it, so it doesn't give you an automatic minus 20.
Oh, I have a little thing that just says all with a...
Yeah. Ohm's law, all. 8 degrees of success. Okay, so for a lot of you, sites like this in the Imperium are common. Flagellants are almost a role within the Imperium. Their purpose is known, a bit like the Penitent Engine, right? It is a known purpose. They strike themselves for the good of the Imperium, often in battle as well. And it's while you're going through this display and you're watching it, and you're watching the people watching it, you go a little deeper. You think, you scan the symbolism, and they are definitely parts of the ecclesiarchy here. This is a shrine world. It's owned by the ecclesiarchy, the imperial faith, the imperial cult. But they also have the symbols of Parsk. They have the little these people, they don't have like full dried flowers. They have like maybe a dried petal, or they have the kind of purplish hue to some of the clothing that is like rolled up beside them because they're not getting them coated in blood.
Yeah, my worry is, are these arcoflagellants by chance? Or...
No.
Okay.
You would know of arcoflagellants with a check that good, and you would want to be aware of them. Luckily, you think you'd recognize one if you saw them. For the rest of you to know, arcoflagellants are a weapon of the ecclesiarchy. They are criminals who have been turned into a kind of war servitor pumped full of combat drugs to the extent that the only way they operate in battle is there is a switch to activate them, and then they are pushed at the enemy, and they just kill. These are not that. These are mostly non-combat flagellants. Although they may have, their arm converted into this flagellant whip so they can actually more efficiently whip themselves. It's what you get from this is that the almost cult of Parsk is still loyal to the Imperial cult. It's not heresy in that it's a different religion. It's heresy in that almost that they're believing that everyone else to the planet is non-believers, if you know what I mean, right? That's the kind of heresy you're dealing with these people. And it fits with what you've heard, Pycello say before and all that sort of thing. But that's the general sort of belief, that the form of belief on this planet is that this is a planet of the Emperor and of all of that. The roots of this heresy go deep. So deep that they don't notice it's heresy.
Let's continue.
So I'm going to share that. Oh.
I don't want to be around this.
If no one asks, he's not going to.
Home 13, is there anything on scans? Are these people under some sort of spell or effect?
This appears to be common ecclesiastical practice.
Yeah, it's some superstitious stuff I've seen from the locals.
All right.
Okay. The Arbite Spire, you can visit without any real
Hi.
sort of issue.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, off to the Arbite Spiral we go.
Is that in character? Trying to give some pep to the step?
Yeah, just for a second, because I'm trying to be sarcastic about how noisy and much of a how much of an attraction we have. So I'm sort of mocking the rest of the group.
Nice.
There's no real way to hide you guys entering the Arbite Spire as well. It's the area around it. Well, there's several entrances. They're all in this dense and heavy and steam-filled market. That's actually particularly busy right now. There's the barking of dogs as well. That's pretty loud when you go through the market. You want to head to the. It's not really a library. It's more of a data center in the Arbite Spire, right? That's where you met Sister Diologist you gave the manifesto to.
Right. That's where we'd like to go.
When you head up the stairs into that section of the building, dense bookshelves, data slates, screens from viewing all parts of the city. The Sister Diologist is nowhere to be found, and she's easily recognizable. She's wearing very specific robes. She isn't an Arbite. The only people in here are essentially Arbite scribes and a couple of scribing servitors. It's busier actually than when you were here before. Most likely due to the destruction of the spire. They're on the lookout for things like that, more attacks. But your contact isn't here.
Well, I don't see Sister Diologist. Shall we ask the Arbite Warwick for any kind of lead? Maybe he knows where she is.
Wait, hang on a second. Are they supposed to be? Is that person supposed to be here?
Well, we assume so. We saw them here before, and they were working diligently on some sort of scroll.
Well, they're not here now. Is it just a shift thing, or are we dealing with somebody who ghosted us?
Is there an interface terminal anywhere?
Oh yeah, there's quite a lot of them. Basically, each, you got these like server towers of cogitators that would have input terminals.
I'm just gonna see if he can just connect into one of them while everyone is talking.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it'll take a couple of moments because it's a different kind of language that the Arbites are using for a different purpose than what you're used to, but it's quite easy for you to get into the machines, communicate with them.
Anything about the sister dialogists at all?
The only information on here, and this is one of those things where I would make you make a check, but you would succeed it, is what literature, for lack of a better word, she has inputted and outputted from the records in the whole time she's been here. She also has absolute clearance to have any data that she requires because she is from the Adeptus Sororitas. She is a Sister of Battle. So she has absolute clearance. And it's continued. The trend has slowed down of late, and a lot more of there's been a lot more, taking things out than putting things in. And the things she's been taking out have been more, books about the evolution of Gothic on this planet. Every planet ends up getting its own slight quirks and idioms and things like that. And that's really the kind of thing she's been taking out, as well as like poetry and literature from scribes who've lived on this planet, and things like that. And continued, and like the last thing she took out was like today, so.
All right. Well, we'll just disconnect himself and just sort of turn back to the group and patiently watch them all just continue talking.
As I was saying, are we sure that this person hasn't ghosted us?
It's certainly a possibility.
I have security concerns given the level of complexity of the threat that we're dealing with, and the amount of attention that we've had from the Paisello Tower incident, as well as the murder that we just happened to walk in on. Very happenstance. I sense that things may not be coincidences around us.
I'm beginning to suspect
And I just
the exact same
I'm just
thing.
very yeah.
No, I suspect you're right, Arlene. I think we should
Very
ask
well.
Warwick, the Arbite here, if he's seen Sister Dialogist. Would anyone like to come with me?
Now that's the question.
Should
Should
anyone come with me?
Ohm is actually busy looking through all the things in this room.
Sure, I'll come with you.
I mean, if you think you need someone else, I can tag along.
I'm not sure about leaving these two because they might blow up the tower.
Well, I think we'll be separating.
One time.
We'll be separating Caius and Yen.
You blow up a tower one time.
Yeah, I blow up a tower, right, Caius?
Yeah, exactly. Yen blows up a tower one time.
13, if anything appears amiss, will you contact me, please?
Acknowledged.
All right, with me. And Risa just leads the way up the stairs to the Arbite Warwick's office.
Yeah, it would take a little bit of squeezing of the Arbite gears, right, to actually get a meeting with Arbite Superior Warwick. You do, there is a little bit of like the subjugators, the heavy weapons Arbites are like, oh hey,
Yeah.
they're happy to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd give him a salute and just kind of a.
You do eventually meet with Warwick. There's going to be a 10-15 minute delay.
Sure.
And he will waltz out of his office to talk to you on the railings. This tower is one of those things where it's railings and railings all the way up, right? With offices on the side and stuff like that. But it's a large enough area for a conversation. It's just not really private. He will have his arms crossed and is not the most amused to have this conversation with you. I mean, you don't need any checks to tell that, but he will acquiesce.
By the Emperor's holy light, Superior Arbite, we humbly ask your help in locating a sister dialogist who was here days ago. She's part of an ongoing investigation.
I remember that you were working with her. If she's not in the data center, then she would most likely be in the market outside, or another market in the city. She requires many supplies for her work, and when we requisition supplies for her, she tells us that we requisitioned the wrong things. Inks, parchments, seals, wax, such things. The specifics of what the Adeptus Sororitas needs are clearly above our pay grade.
Risa scoffs a little bit in solidarity, just, yeah. Oh, I appreciate the candor. Thank you very much. We'll continue our search.
He'll nod. The look kind of lingers when you go. He doesn't go back into the office. He just kind of watches you from up there for a bit. Do you want to go exploring the office? The markets to try and find her?
Well, if it, I mean,
sounds exactly like somebody who is not doing something suspicious. So I don't think that it's worth pursuing any further. I think it sounds normal for them. I didn't sense anything unusual
Yeah,
about
we
it.
still need that. We need that decoding from her. So
well, we can either go and question this other Inquisitor, or we can attempt to look for Sister Dialogist.
I would rather not go out into the market causing another incident again. So let's.
I'm
explore.
inclined to agree.
I be for the best.
Risa just tries to communicate with Ohm over the radio. Ohm 13, come in, Ohm.
Ohm 13, acknowledged.
We're leaving. Please meet us by the entrance.
He doesn't respond, but he begins to move. If Caius and Yen don't follow him, he's not telling them where to go.
Now, luckily, the Arbite building is not very complicated. It's quite easy to find the exit again. Not like a lot of other buildings. It's very, very simple, right? Very simple, pre-planned hab building kind of thing.
Sure.
What's the plan? What do you want to do? You head out?
Actually, while we're here, we should probably find a more, a less conspicuous mode of transportation. Can we requisition another Arbite vehicle to move about in?
Yeah, probably. I don't... The Arbites do not have undercover vehicles.
Sure.
If you
It
wanted
defeats
to
the
be
purpose.
undercover... Exactly, right? They have a couple of those drop lighters, which are mostly for troop transport, and I think they would have a kind of... They would have motorbikes They would also have basically a mobile troop transport, basically like a kind of like truck, almost like a chimera on truck wheels. But none of them would be very subtle to requisition at all. And you would also need to take a Arbite pilot with you, unless you had Yen drive.
Yen we'd take an Arbite pilot the first time and just prop Yen up in the cockpit. All right, Yen, learn how to fly this thing.
I'll try my best.
You could definitely maybe take a moment to just check what's available.
All right.
They have a kind of underground, almost bat cave-esque area where the vehicles are stored, and then they can kind of shift them out through the city when necessary. But if you want to be subtle, none of these are subtle at all. They're all littered with Arbite logos, and they're black with silver emblems and stuff like that.
I just sort of lean on like a wall or something, and I just face palm, and I'm just like not like shaking my head.
All right, well, let's just walk.
The heaviest and least subtle vehicle here, which might be useful to know, is they do have a Taurox. A Taurox is a armored personnel carrier that has 4 sets of tank treads, basically, and is very good at getting around difficult terrain and things like that. It's quite surprisingly fast, good for vanguard maneuvers and things like that.
I think it's probably best if
that
we
is
just
an
walk.
option.
I suggest that we remain on foot, or perhaps this planet has mounts.
That's a fair point. Do you know of any sort of place we can requisition a mount?
It's actually quite possible for you to know that, Lean. I'm going to need a check from you. It'll be a... give me an underworld lore check.
Okay.
Yeah, no, well, but like you've spent time on this planet, right? It's a good bet to make. Warhammer is one of those settings where it's like, oh, you could take the tank or you could take the horse. Is like a valid option. Just give me an underworld lore check.
All right, underworld. Looking for
This is a question I thought that would be asked a lot earlier in the campaign.
There we go. No modifier.
You're gonna have a +10 on this because of your experience on this planet.
Cool. Boom.
That's a failure of 2 degrees. Do you want to re-roll that using a fate point?
Nah, it's not worth it.
Not worth it.
I have
one of the things, as someone who's been on a lot of planets, right? You know, you've been to a lot of places. It gets kind of hard to remember because each planet has its own ecosystem and mounts, and some mounts that are very useful are shared between planets. You have some ideas, but no specifics to here and where you'd find them.
Yeah. So
Risa,
I suggest it, throw it out there as an idea, but it's like I don't actually know that there are any here.
All right. No, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, DM, Risa has some understanding of the underworld on this planet as well, and has probably pored over some sort of reports that might make reference to a place where people can requisition mounts. Can I?
Yeah. Please do. You won't have the further +10 that
Sure.
Erlene had. But you have 2 degrees of success. You can, and also you're in the Arbite Tower still. You can ask other Arbites, and that kind of helps.
Ask information. Just walk up to the information desk with Yen. Still scruffing Yen.
I can walk normally fine,
Chastiner has one.
An interesting phenomenon took place on Pask when the meadows turned to bog after the invasion of the orcs. A mammal from a different world was brought to Pask to serve as a mount for taking expeditions into the marshes and the swamps outside, which isn't what you're looking for right now, but is quite useful to know. They're called bogufflers. They are... You would basically be given an image of one because you're like, what's that? Like, no, fair enough. Here's what it would look like. It's basically like a long-legged, horse-sized tapir. And it's very good at getting through marsh. It's resistant to poisons and radiations. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it would help you get through marsh and things like that. And you know, now that you think about it, you feel like you probably have seen it, like especially when you're down in the underworld. You think, oh yeah, I probably did see one of those with like bags on its side and things like that. It's a great pack animal. Other than that, you remember the like slime hound that you encountered in the tunnels?
That's right.
Those are definitely being tamed and sold, though they wouldn't be best as mounts. They would be best as, you know, attack animals, or pulling something. But they were pretty resistant as well. This is also the kind of world where you can get horses, but they would be quite hard to acquire because they're a sign of horses in the Imperium are either a sign of war, like they're used by a lot of Imperial Guard regiments, especially the ones that need, you know, really fast responses, or they are a sign of status.
Sure.
So there probably is some horses on the planet, but you'd have to go through some loops to acquire them for the lot of you.
All right.
But those are kind of your options right now with that.
Well,
and you know the kind of places to requisition them if you need, but you need to make either influence checks or you need to trade.
all right. I'll download all these addresses to my data slate if you don't mind information.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Thank you. All right. Well, I think it's best if we continue on foot then.
Very well.
So, shall we?
Let's
Where are you
find
heading?
Let's find ourselves a drum major.
Would you prefer to walk separately?
I will walk to the side, very, very slightly.
Okay. Where's Caius? Caius?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Snuck up on me.
Still nursing my headache.
Well, let's go meet the Inquisitor.
Excellent.
I have the address and I'll lead the way.
Okay, you start to leave the loud and busy markets that surround the Arbite Tower. There's even the distant sounds of bellowing gunshots that emanate from inside the market as well. Something that doesn't necessarily surprise you. Although so close to the Arbite Tower is definitely quite ballsy. And you can start to head towards where this Inquisitor lives. Inquisitor Belrort. This would be quite a ways up in the city. You know, near the Governorial Palace that you've already explored a few times before. Now, luckily you have the exact address, and heading to such a building to check on this Inquisitor is not going to be difficult. As you get within the engraved and decorated elevator and start to head up into the kind of penthouse level of this structure, this is an excellent time for us to take a break.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Ollie. And big thank you to our viewers here at Twitch. If you'd like to view this VOD on websites such as Twitch or YouTube, you can find all those links at our Discord. That's fablescraps.com/Discord. And if you're listening to the show on podcasting apps, or Spotify or Stitcher, don't forget to subscribe. We'll be right back with the second half of DoomLore, a 40K story, right after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to DoomLore, a 40k story. If you're listening to the show on podcasting apps such as Spotify or Stitcher, be sure to subscribe there and check us out on Twitch every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, that's 6 p.m. Eastern. Let's hand it on back to Ollie for the second half of DoomLore, a 40k story.
The elevator doors open with a mechanical hiss into a kind of almost waiting area that you have in front of expensive apartments like this one, where it has its own little bit of seating. And there are other apartments up here, not just the one for the Inquisitor. You can head towards the door numbered correctly, and the door is shut and quite firmly locked. It's actually quite a good quality security door with a security panel beside it, complete with a low-functioning servo skull that is plugged into the wall. A bit similar to some of the ones you saw on the Sibilants.
I just want to look at the rest of the party and just say, all right, we need to be quick and concise with our questions. Inquisitors are not people who want to be toyed with or anything like that. So let's narrow it down to like a couple questions. What do you think we should ask?
I mean, I guess we're gonna question him on Picello, right?
That's right, but
Yeah.
we should.
Do we want to include anything about the separate incident and see if that? Do we want to include anything about that? I feel like that may not be unrelated.
It may be unrelated, although this office seems to have material wealth and potentially connections. They might know something. I think we should certainly prioritize Picello, but if this Inquisitor can help us in the other matter, then we'll ask if we have time.
Sure.
Very well. Sounds good.
All right.
So, what sort of questioning are we doing here? Is it questioning like casual, or questioning as in, aggressive?
No,
More interrogating.
Yen.
No interrogation.
Oh, you
No
should
interrogation.
definitely torture the Inquisitor. That would be great
I'm
for your
just saying.
career prospects.
We usually go with the interrogating route most of the time.
not
so I was just
interrogating-
double-checking.
Yen should stay outside.
Yeah,
not going down the naughty
you
step.
might you're gonna have to stay outside with the scary skull.
Just hook his monkey tail to Euron and we'll be okay.
I mean, I'll be fine, I can
Yen,
help
this is a
out.
casual matter. If you interrogate this Inquisitor, I will not vouch for you.
All right, I'll stay outside.
Probably for the best. I just sort of like nod down at Yen.
All right. Risa reaches up to press the
Yen
button
isn't
on
that
the
small.
intercom system on the security panel.
Yeah, there's a sort of button, an implement lights up, and on one of the screens well, it'd actually be in High Gothic. You wouldn't be able to read it, I'm pretty sure, Risa.
I can read
But
it.
it's a basic like leave your message kind of thing to be sent through.
This is the Arbite Risa, here to seek the Inquisitor Fane Belrod. Please acknowledge.
There is a kind of mechanical beeping sound as the message is correctly received. And no response.
Risa will try again.
Yeah, you can leave the same message or something similar. The machine is operating, the message goes through.
This is the Arbite Risa acting under orders of Inquisitor Balafo to speak to the Inquisitor Fane Belrod. Please acknowledge.
It accepts the request. Give it a sec. No response.
All right, we tried. We'll take a receipt and we'll head on back.
Hold up, Bryce. I think I've got the touch to make this thing work.
Oh dear. Oh dear dear. Oh dear dear.
Jump on the.
I'm gonna go walk around the. I'm gonna like walk over to
No,
the
no,
side
no,
and
no.
see if
You're
there's like
Arlene.
a
You're
side,
fine. You're fine. I
a
think
side
we just
entrance or whatever.
gonna try.
No, I insist on. I am going to step aside for a second, and I'm gonna see if there's like other entrances or other windows, etc.
You can make a check in a sec after whatever
Okay.
horrifying thing Caius does happens.
I start to walk away as soon as that's.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
What do you
press
like
the
to do,
button.
Caius?
I'll press the button as well. Say, hey, Jerry's food delivery here. We got your food outside. It's gonna go cold in a couple minutes.
The machine takes the message, and there is no immediate response.
Okay, I think we should break in.
Why would we break in? We just need to ask him
What?
some questions.
I think something might have happened to him. I'm
I
worried
think we
about
might
it.
need to break in.
We don't need to break in.
Yeah.
We're not breaking in.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't need to break in.
Wait, can I hold up? Let me see.
Where's Erlene?
No.
I
Erlene?
got a few grenades.
Tell you what I'm gonna do. Rice, you just stand there for a second. Can I telepathic link or at least like feel out to see if there's anybody that I can?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I definitely allow you to try. It a bit like D&D rules. It's harder through thick materials and this is a
Yeah,
thick security door, but definitely I
I mean,
will give you
I got an 80-meter range, so.
Yeah, it's got an 80 feet in range, is kind of be a little awkward, but definitely go ahead and try. Remember that your psi rating is currently 1 lower
Oh yeah, that's right.
for
This
any
is-
I
checks.
forgot about that.
This is like the Always Sunny of 40k games. The gang does a B&E.
Ooh,
There we go.
ooh. You take a moment and reach out. I mean, it's not so much a reaching out with your senses. You know, it's almost
It's like
like
a reach around.
it's like a psychic reach around. It's almost like, you know, like alien vision,
Nice.
right? It was like through the structure, and you actually do sense something. You sense a digitized, lobotomized servitor mind that is alive and is afflicted with the same psychic terror that was within
Oh,
the
no.
grenade that was thrown at you. You feel no other life signs other than this servitor within the
folks.
building that has been afflicted.
Right.
Before
Bryce.
you act, I am going to need a D100 from you.
Oh,
because that
yeah.
will cause a psychic
Yep.
phenomenon.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Boy.
Oh, here he goes.
Here I go
Psychic
again.
What was that you just rolled?
66.
66. Psychic phenomena. Where are you? There we are.
Please no body swap.
It's a fun one.
Oh no, we've had this one before. As
Yeah.
you reach out, everyone. Well, actually, roll another D100 for me because this will decide whether Erlene's going to actually be within this. And Erlene,
Nice.
if you
There you
are,
go.
this is going to be a trip. Yeah, you're absolutely within 40 meters. Like you're probably heading up the stairs, trying to see if there's an entrance from above, and all of the walls of this entire building start to grow coated in eyes and screaming faces and almost breathing, but also shifting with the color of infinite stars. And then it blinks away as quickly as it appeared. I am going to need everyone to give me a willpower test with a -10 modifier. Ohm is good. Ohm is just like,
Yeah.
fucking shit. Who gives a shit?
He just turned
Raisa
off whatever
fails. Yen
the
fails.
spectrum he
Caius
sees it in. He
fails.
just tuned it back.
I'll
out.
re-roll that. No.
Hey.
-10, you said?
Yeah, willpower -10.
Yeah.
It's not as bad, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, -3.
Okay, everyone who failed, roll me a d5. That's going to be added to your corruption points.
I'm gonna use a fate point here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to use a fate point to re-roll that?
Yeah.
Yen is starting to get used to psychic corruption.
I'm
35
Sure.
corruption, baby.
Starting to love this stuff.
I'm also going to use a fate point to reroll.
Go ahead.
Oh,
That's
Okay.
worse, but
We're
it's
cool.
still... It's not like there's any additive modifier to the corruption. It's still just d5.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
D5 corruption can't cause anything bad unless you have corruption from another source already.
D5.
Let
where
me
is
know
my D5?
if you go over the 10s value, anyone.
Where is the roll D5? Oh, I have to like.
A slash-
enter that.
Oh, you have to
Slash roll.
type this one in, yeah.
Yeah.
It can roll weird dice that don't exist, but it doesn't have quick options for it. Ooh, your first experience of Caius' psychic phenomena going wrong, and it's a shaking one. You
Yeah.
glimpse the warp for a second, and then it's gone. Did that cause any maladies with anyone? Is anyone above their 10s?
No.
Okay. But you did sense exactly what I described before. The servant
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. Wow, did that taste like purple to anybody? Y'all okay? That was weird.
Guys, what was that?
I'm not in vicinity of them, right? I
Yeah,
can't-
yeah, yeah.
I
No,
don't-
you're
I don't-
probably like up in like the service stairwell heading up the building. But
I pull out.
Yeah.
I pull out my firearm and I hit the like I take cover
Yeah.
and I'm like
Makes
'cause
sense.
I feel like I'm in a combat. I feel my sense is that because I don't know it's them. I sense that person is back.
Oh, sure.
It's bad that I'm getting used to this.
Well, sorry about that, folks. Return to your seats. Risa, we should gather everyone, and I'm gonna emphasize at this point that we should break in.
Risa just considers this for a second and understood. Yen, can you take care of this security door or Ohm 13? Either one of you.
You mean Boom?
No, not boom. Just get us in.
Boom is one way to get in.
Wait, hold up. A moment of clarity comes to me. Should we attempt to contact the other Inquisitor and let him know? It's not an urgent thing. I mean,
No, that is.
we need to
that
look
is-
inside, but it's not an urgent thing that we get in like now or 2 minutes from now.
That is wise.
Yeah.
Can I use the communications device to do that? DM?
Yeah, you have a frequency in which to contact Inquisitor Balafo.
Inquisitor Balafo. This is Risa.
There's a hiss of static across the Vox network, and faint sounds of eminent screams from the air around you that quickly... it quickly overtakes the static of the Vox and just enters your mind for a moment, before you can steal it away and, like, disconnect the, connection to your headset.
All right.
Any
Communications.
dice?
Communications are down. Ohm 13. Can you open this door?
Ohm will take a moment, walk up and study the door. And then he'll, Dendrite will slither out from his back and just clamp into the data panel, and he'll just start going to work.
R2D2 it.
Yeah.
This is going to be a security check. With a -10, this is a high quality device.
So wait, how did you want me to open the door if not for Boom?
That's a good question. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I just overestimated you, Yan.
You did.
The kind of Art Deco design of the door shifts slightly as some of the locking elements that were artistically embedded into the door move, signifying that the door is unlocked, although you may open it whenever you wish. You also study other things from this door, Ohm. This door has not been opened in 18 hours.
I will advise caution.
Is
as we
there,
enter.
by chance, is there a security feed Ohm could look into?
The security feed looks outwards into this hallway, and you can kind of reel it back. Nothing.
Yeah.
The last thing was seemingly the Inquisitor. I mean, it looks like them, but it's kind of hard to tell from the angle. Carrying a box of vaguely mechanical-looking supplies. Like re-entering
into the apartment.
Yeah, him returning.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
The door is now open.
Thank you, M13. Everyone follow me. Risa just takes the heavy flamer out, ignites the tip of it, kind of gets into position and just slowly
Just the tip.
just walks into the room very slowly.
Did you want to summon Erlene back to the party as you do this?
I'll just try to communicate with Erlene really quick.
Erlene, are you there?
Who is this?
This is Risa. We've made it.
How do
into
I know it's you?
Well, we've made it into the front room, so you're
The
welcome.
front room of what? Of where?
The room that we were just at. We were just there. Caius created some kind of disturbance. If you felt that, it's Caius.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Erlene. You're gonna be fine.
I'm still gonna try to find the back way.
There is something wrong. If you would like to continue on your path, that's all right. But we're going in the main door, just so you know. Please acknowledge.
I acknowledge the receipt of this message.
Understood. Nice out.
This is actually a good time to make your own security check, Erlene, to explore other avenues of this building, maintenance, passageways, things like that. Get a better idea of other entrances and exits. There's going to be... In fact, this is actually going to have a +10 to it because this is fairly routine.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make a security roll of +10.
Cool. Security. There it is. +10.
Oh.
That's going to be a failure with 3 degrees. You can spend a fate point to attempt to re-roll that. Either way, this is going to take time, right?
Yeah. I don't spend a thing, but I am on high alert. I have my weapon out. So my auto pistol is out. And
Cool.
I am like walking around the building, and before I go there, I am like on high alert because I have no idea what's going on. I'm freaked out.
Yeah. That kind of shenanigan is a kind of a bar, not the thing you were expecting. Yeah.
I walk over to the party, or to the entrance. Are they inside or outside when I get to?
By the time you get to them, they would have already been inside for a sec. So let's swoop back to camera 1. You can enter the front room of this imperial apartment, and it's basically one large chamber, like the inside of a church. And you can very carefully walk around Risa, and you can very quickly see the thing that Caius warned you about. There is, plugged into the wall on the far side, a servitor of unique design. A lot of servitors are bulky and heavy because it's just cheaper and faster and more efficient to do that. This one is fairly svelte, fairly well-made parts. It's not an acroflagellant, but it's not far off either. There is this almost like VR headset-like element fused to the face, and then this long, almost proboscis. Meaning it doesn't really have a human face anymore, this kind of heavy, hefty sensor module. One of the arms is a long whip, one of the arms is a long blade, and it doesn't move. It looks like it is plugged into the wall in a... almost like a maintenance workshop position. The whole area around it is a little cubby for clearly tinkering on maybe this servitor or maybe other things. There's also degrees of kind of sort of leathery maintenance robes on the servitor as well, hiding some elements of its design, and some elements of you know, the equipment and stuff.
All right. Is there any evidence of trauma to this machine?
Would you like to look at the rest of the room first, or you would like to look closer at this machine? I'd like to scout all your corners.
Home 13, is this machine online?
What kind of check you want me to make on that?
I think that's a plus 10 tech use check. Not interfacing with it, unless you wish to, but just I understand this machine, I understand servitors, and what you can get from it, even from just a glance in the parts. Something that becomes clear, or something that slowly starts to invade your senses as you stare at this machine, is the familiar scent of blood from behind you. This machine is online. In fact, the servitor is essentially in wait, pretending to be plugged in. The actual large data cables that would fuse it to the wall and deactivate it are not connected. It's in almost a maintenance position, like if you told the servitor to go for maintenance,
right?
Or it self-diagnosed damage. But there is also degrees of psionic corruption, which you've seen in servitors. You know what it looks like. The red visual elements on the sensor panel have this slight blinking of the same blue that was the Terra magic. It's almost like washing inside there. It's around this time when you're taking a slow examination of the thing that Lean would catch up with the party and see them.
I'm sneaking in. I am not walking directly in.
Risa doesn't hear Arlene come in at all.
Yeah, give me a stealth check.
All right.
While the rest of the party can continue to roleplay while that's rolled.
Will not be getting close to that thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Nobody
I
is.
failed.
It is watching you.
Interesting.
And Ohm will actually sort of reach up and touch Risa with her shoulder, and then he'll point to the cables that are laying on the ground that should be hooked in.
And there's a lot of them, right? It would have kind of almost put it up in a like arms out position, and it's in the right position, but just not quite
active.
Understood. What will trigger it? Home 13, what will trigger any kind of aggression from this creature?
Uncertain, but it is laying in wait. This is irregular. I recommend we walk out as slowly as we came in.
Understood. Rysa's going to just...
Ohm's actually backing up as he's saying this,
Yeah.
keeping his eyes on the servitor.
Rysa's going to glance around the room and just see if there's evidence of this blood smell.
On the far side of the room is an elderly man leaning on a workbench with a sword jammed through his chest into the stone below. Right before a very large Gothic window.
I see.
Think he's okay?
All right. Bryce is just gonna motion for everybody to back away. Back away myself. Just gonna back down the hall.
Gonna close the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ohm will interface with the door and see if there's any sort of security shutters he can do. Like if there's any sort of
Like a blast
additional
door?
security. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a security check for that with a +0. Here's a question. Erlene, you wanted to sneak in. Would you
Yes.
want to keep it kind of exploring the place while kind of before / as they're backing up? Would you want to back up with
Yeah, I don't know where they are yet, do I? That's what I'm trying to do.
They're in front of you. They're visible. There's not really many places
Okay.
to hide in this room.
I'm extremely
It's like a big church chamber.
I'm extremely suspicious, and so I look like I can't tell if they're friend or foe right now. Is kind of like whenever they see me, I have my weapon in my hands, not aimed at them, but I am looking at them suspiciously, and I'm just sort of like looking at them, and I'm just like standing there for a second, like waiting for them to respond.
Yeah, they back out of the room. You stay in.
No, I'm leaving. I leave the
Okay,
room with
cool.
them, but I am very suspicious of my party now. Rysa,
Yes.
Rysa,
Erlene. Oh, there you are.
what is going on? I must ask you.
There's a active security servitor inside this room, and it is primed and ready. So be extraordinarily careful around
What
here.
the hell just happened earlier, and why is there a dead Inquisitor?
There's some kind of
It was Caius.
And Ohm just walks past everyone.
there's some
after
kind
he
of heretical
Listen, Arlene, we're all looking for the guy that did that eyeball thing. But I think it's important to focus on the dead Inquisitor right now.
I agree. How are we not going to get blamed for this?
That is a bridge that we're gonna have to cross now, isn't it?
Rysa?
13, do you have the security footage on your person?
Archived, yes.
Yeah, that's how we'll prove it. How long ago did Inquisitor Belrot enter this room?
If door logs are to be believed, the room was last entered 18 hours ago.
Wow.
That's a lot of time.
That is
That's a
very
lot
long.
of time.
Wait, is it? I imagine that security bot would have a feed as well. Now, I know
That's
it's
what
corrupted,
he's.
but-
Well, the servitor in the room. Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
they see. Just to give the information on Ohm's last security check. Yeah, there are shutters in the building you can activate. You can lock down the elevator if you wish. You can lock down roof exits. You can lock down the
Ohm runs this building
windows. You totally can. Another thing, you would very quickly check this machine and the integrated security network for any sign of this same psionic corruption, and there is none.
Yeah.
Ohm would go ahead and lower security shutters on the Inquisitor's room. And then
You can hear it, and it would definitely be like timed with like a twist of the mechadendrite. So like you could tell Ohm did it as there's like a to like elements of the inquisitorial building.
This room is secure.
Thank you, M13. I think we should contact Inquisitor Balafo. But we can't do so from in here. There's too much interference. Everyone stay together.
Oh man, radio's screaming again.
We're going outside to make this call. Call it in.
Damn.
Understood?
Gotta
This would
call it
happen
in.
if we had Verizon.
Understood.
All right. Risa leads the way downstairs. Still slowly and maintaining, some semblance of safety.
Okay. Do you want to take the elevator or the stairs?
Stairs.
Okay.
I'm gonna need a lawyer for the Arbites.
There's no such things as lawyers in the
know.
Imperium.
I
It's a utopia society. No need. You are not assaulted on the way back. Incredibly careful. Can head down outside and maybe even briefly check your Vox every now and again to see when the disturbance is over. And when you get, it's not even when you leave the building, it's when you get pretty near the bottom of it, 1 or 2 floors away from the main entrance exit, that the Vox is clear again. And you can send a message to Balafo if you wish.
Inquisitor Balafo.
Arbite Risa. Tell me what you know.
We believe there's been a disturbance at the workplace of Inquisitor Fane Belrod. He is unfortunately now deceased. Additionally, there is a online security servitor in his office, which is currently active, and we don't know what will trigger it. It may have some clue as to what happened in this office. We are able to discern that it was last seen entering 18 hours ago.
This is truly sad news for the Imperium and the Inquisition.
Great.
I'm going to need you to find out the specifics of this murder, and if necessary, dismantle and strip all information from that security servitor.
Yeah.
Do you have any tools that may aid us in interfacing with the security servitor?
I am sure your tech priest of the Adeptus Mechanicus would be well equipped. If not, there is an entire ship of machine cultists that can specialize in such a thing.
Being an Inquisitor security drone, I just want to know if there's any kind of access code or something to disarm it shared amongst the Inquisitors.
I did not know Inquisitor Thane as well as Inquisitor Parallax does, but I do know that he tinkers. That servitor is most likely of his own design and not officially operating as the Inquisition. It's likely that there is a key code that can completely pacify it, as there is with most servitors designed for combat.
Understood. Thank you for your help, Inquisitor.
His will be done.
This will be done.
Disconnect the feed.
All right. There's no off switch. Home 13, are you capable of communing with this servitor?
Possible.
I understand it represents a great deal of risk to you, and I do not ask this of you lightly. Are there any other Mechanicus who may be willing to help us in this endeavor?
Will regard Risa for a moment, and would he have the comm frequency to contact the Mechanicus ship?
You can contact the null point, you can't contact specific people on the null point. You can basically hail main screen, and that's it.
So Ohm will open the feed to the null point, and to the rest of the group, it just sounds like a bunch of weird guttural electronic noises, but he'll fire off a quick message in Technolingua
Of course.
and end up actually verbally sending schematics for the thing they found and requesting the presence of a more senior Magos on site.
That's going to be an influence check. Let me check real quick. Yeah, that's going to be an influence check.
All right.
Let's do a little bit of fuckery there for it, but it should be fine.
Well, let's see.
Woo! It's a success. You will get a message back that your request has been acknowledged. 13. Aberrant servitor designs are a aberration and disgust to the Omnisire. A tech priest servitor commander can be delivered to your location if required. Or a servitor dismantling drone used for rogue machines.
Ohm would probably request the tech priest servitor handler, seeing as how
Okay.
they kind of need the thing.
This is going to be a cost to your influence of 6.
Okie dokie.
Would you relay to the party that you and like it would be a sort of like acknowledged sending to your location,
All right.
but there'll be a couple of moments before it gets.
Ohm will turn back to Risa.
A more capable individual has been dispatched.
Thank you, Home 13. Yen,
Yeah.
Need a fruit snack?
I'm proud of you for not blowing anything up while we were in there. You've done very, very well.
I mean, it kind of looked like someone beat me to it, so there's no real point.
Would you like a nutrient bar?
I just
mean,
want
I'll
to
take a
point
look.
out. I just want to point out that my brain got a little scrambled for a second. So I mean, I am withholding all compliments for the moment.
Is your brain all right?
I don't know.
Do you want a nutrient bar?
That would certainly be payment for the services.
Well, here you go. Here's Yen's nutrient bar.
Wait, oh, come on.
Take it out of his hand and give it to.
You know, I
would you have
don't
gone to
just
the
blow
complete-
everything up right.
Would you have exited the building, or would you be in like this kind of semi-public inner plaza that you're currently? that you-
I think we'd be at the
got?
entrance to make sure nobody goes inside to disturb the crime scene.
Okay.
Well, nobody can get
A lot of
in.
people live in this building.
Well,
There's people coming in and out.
I'll
You can
be
stop them, but
be watching them.
yeah. You can watch them. Let's see if any one of them is like 8 feet tall. There is a crack of thunder, and that beam of lightning from the null point down to the ground. And as it dissipates quite quickly with a haze of lightning blue, a tech priest wearing full Martian red, wielding a omniscient axe, at first in 2 hands and then just shifting it to 1, will emanate from inside the static field and march up. There is a clank of heavy armor from their legs, and they have kind of similar to Ohm, where he has these like just massive cables, but there's much more of a humanish face above that, although with metal implants and protrusions and a heavy hood that somewhat obscures it. I am Tech Priest Servitor Superior Dominus Adamantus. My services are required to quell a rogue servitor threat, I presume.
Affirmative. Greetings, Renovant Tech Priest. We,
He will be quite taken aback when you
Ohm
speak
will
as an
quickly
Ohm.
step in front of
Yeah.
and exchange honorifics in Technolingua, while probably also excusing the rest of the party for being idiots, since they don't know what he's saying anyway.
The like well-spoken common phrase in Technolingua of "excuse the meatbags" kind of.
Yeah.
I will
And-
require more information and access to this inappropriate machine.
This way.
And without really checking with the rest of the party, Ohm will begin to lead the superior to the door.
Kind of hefts the axe in a way that it kind of rests on the shoulder, but also like clamps in to the shoulder with like an extra hand, and will just start marching.
My axe holding hand.
Axe holding hand, yeah.
13, will
Why
you
not?
also relay that we need any kind of data relevant to this crime on a data slate of some sort?
You may also speak to him.
All right, I wasn't sure.
You botched his honorific. It is a grave offense, but I have, how is the phrase, saved face for you.
All right.
I just roll my eyes.
But yeah, Ohm would have relayed to the to Dominus Adamantus that they would need to have its cogitator functioning, essentially, not to rip the thing complete, not destroy it, but it needs disabled, because
You have
it's,
need of the machine's eyes. I understand.
Correct.
And Ohm will take up his spot on the door and plug in with his mechadendrites and begin to undo the security, not raise the shutters, though.
There's a moment when the Tech Priest Dominus Adamantus looks over the party with a scrying eye, and like in front of the door as it's ready, and we'll shift the axe to two hands again in front of him, and like this is an omniscient axe so close you can actually kind of like feel the thrum of the force field on the axe head. It kind of puts the hairs on end slightly.
Ohm's quite delighted to be so close to such a thing, to see one.
I have definitely noticed Ohm has grown like 3 inches.
It's cold in here.
Arbeit, inform me of the threat readout of this machine.
It is a security servitor that is currently online and awaiting some sort of trigger. We're not aware of what trigger could possibly create some kind of aggressive response, but we need it deactivated, and we need the security footage from it. Please.
There's a there's no mouth visible, but you can kind of see like the smile in his eyes when you say please, like a kid saying something cute.
Aww.
Very well.
Okay, dummy.
Stand by my side while I interact with this machine as a avatar of the Omnissiah's will. I will bend this machine from any corruption to its proper service. And he will march inside and kind of suggest for Ryza to step alongside.
All right. Well, Ryza does. And
Anyone else want to take up position?
Nope.
Yeah,
I step.
I'll-
I step.
Ryza definitely has the
Enough feet away.
has the
I'll
flamer.
step through the entrance at least. I'll kind of be behind.
Ohm will
And we'll
be
stay behind Ryza.
observing, but out of the way.
The tech priest will raise his hand and kind of put the axe down in a very deliberate position. It's ritualistic. It's almost equivalent to like a wizard casting a spell in a way, right? There is a hum of technolingua and whir of cogitators beneath the robes, and the fingers will kind of twitch and move, and you can almost see the data transfer back and forth, and you can see the lights flickering on the servitor, and it twitch slightly, and he will let out a hum of displeasure. You wish for this machine's eyes, correct?
Ryza's holding the flamer kind of like similar to the way he's holding it. Not understanding that this is a ritual. And says, yes, we require his eyes for an ongoing investigation. Sir.
The machine has suffered trauma.
Of a
The
criminal.
connection of this vigilant servitor. I can deactivate and dismantle the machine with causing its organic and mechanical components to rupture beyond use. This servitor was designed for brisk and brutal, swift combat, not to serve the Omnissiah for centuries. Such an act would be quite easy from here, but its eyes would suffer permanent damage, as would all the records within its cogitators. If you wish to witness what this unfortunate machine has witnessed, then it must be dismantled mechanically.
That is what I humbly request. Yes, I understand it's not a small thing to ask, but it is very important that we catch whoever did this. And Ryza just kind of gesturing over to the dead guy in the middle of the room that this tech priest has not acknowledged.
Nope. Doesn't care.
No.
Can we do a little column A, column B, my man? Maybe strip its arms off so it's not a threat.
I come a little closer, and I'm just like, I think he means that he needs to kill the robot.
Oh, all right.
In low Gothic, that is a correct assessment. The nanosecond mechanical dismantling of this machine begins. The servitor will become vigilant and agitated.
All right. Well, if it must be done, then yes, I do ask that.
Yen, get in there.
Okay. With that, I'm gonna need a roll initiative.
Excellent.
Oh yeah. No battle map for this one. You're in the apartment. All of you are within... You're probably around 5 meters away from the thing as it's plugged into the wall. If you wish to be standing further back, then that's totally okay.
Hey, roll 20.
Where is my?
Yeah, roll
Why
20's
is my
frozen.
character sheet not loading?
Make sure you're got your token collected.
Oh,
Oh.
right.
Yeah. That's what the tokens on the map are for, just in case.
There we go.
How do I do initiative?
So click on your token, and then on your character sheet, there is an initiative button.
Yeah.
Oh
and
wait,
you
no,
can
that's
tell
not the one. This
where
one,
it
right?
is.
Yeah.
I've got to roll for the tech
There we go.
priest, who is not that agile because it's a tech priest.
Oh, I did a good job.
You did oh yeah, you did a weird one first.
Yeah, I pressed the wrong button.
Oh, he's acting pretty good. That's okay. Okay. Chelsea, did
I'm
you
still
manage to find that?
No, I'm having a
Let me check
I'm having a situation where Roll20 is not loading the character sheet at all.
Just reload the website. That's why
Oh yeah, make sure it's just reloaded. That's yeah.
Yep.
So,
Okay, now it's coming up. All right.
okay. Make sure you've got your token
button?
selected, and then
Token selected. Can't see the token and
initiative
the
button is below your main attributes next to fate.
Yep, I see it. Alright, just
You
need
type
to be able
agility.
to
You
see
press
the-
the agility
I
button.
just need to be able to see the thing at the same time.
You don't need to be able to
God,
see the
this web-
token. You just
this
need to have
web-
it
The
selected.
website is so scuffed.
This is fan-made character sheets.
Yeah. All right, cool. I got it. Got a token selected, and then I have an agility and custom.
Yeah, click agility. Some characters can use like other things for their initiative.
There we go.
13. That's great.
Nice.
Okay, so it's actually going to be Yen first because Yen has better initiative than Caius.
That makes sense.
The Dominus is going to shift their hand to essentially activate the servitor to get ready for mechanical dismantling, and you see the servitor pretending to be plugged into the wall twitch. The electro whip on its left arm is going to like pulse and shift and light up. Yen, you have the first action. What would you like to do?
Guys, should I start blasting or
Start blasting, yeah.
start blasting? All right.
Yeah, we'll start blasting. Actually, is there any
It's
cover
entirely
nearby
possible
I
that
can
you
get
destroy this
behind?
thing before it gets close. You know, that's entirely
Yeah.
possible.
I'm gonna
Maybe
start
Yen will
blasting.
do some like big murder. Who knows?
We want to keep the head intact, right?
Yeah, don't shoot it in the face, please.
Yeah,
the
so
head
I'm gonna try and
elements are intact. Yeah, and he said that
gonna
overheating
aim for
them
the
would cause
legs.
damage, which is exactly what your guns do, as last
Dang.
pistols.
Hmm. So I'm probably gonna aim for the legs.
Good idea. Yeah. Go
Alright,
ahead.
so I start
When
blast.
you make a called shot, that is your full turn to do it, but you can make an attack with. Can you make an attack with both weapons? No, it's just
Bang,
one.
bang.
So
Is it just one?
let me double check that one. I know it takes you a full turn to do a called shot. I know we've scuffed that one before. Let me check the specifics of how called shot works real quick. You can go ahead and make your first shot regardless, because that's going to be, I assume, using the hot shot pistol. And called shot. Yeah, you don't get the bonus for standard attacks. You do have a bonus for being within 5 feet, so you're going to have a plus 10, and you don't get to dual wield with it. You get to dual wield with standard attacks. And when you
Right,
make a
okay.
standard attack with and dual wield, burst, or semi-auto burst. But not called shots. Because I guess you're like really picking it out. But it's probably worth
this
it with
would-
your hot shotgun.
Yeah, so this would be short range?
Yes, yeah.
No modifier?
Which leg do you want to shoot at?
I would like to shoot at the left leg.
Okay. You have chosen your choice.
Damn it.
That's going to be a failure.
Can I use fate to reroll
Unless
that?
you want to use a fate point to reroll it.
I'm going to use a fate point to reroll that. very rare that I get to go first, so I'm gonna try and make the most of it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your hotshot pistol is incredibly useful for things like this. I mean, a servitor like this is definitely going to be extremely resilient to damage, even though it doesn't seem to have much armored elements.
Oh, I don't. Hold on. I did that calculation wrong, actually. I think it still would have been a failure, though. Because cold
You
shot,
did
I'm not
do it
supposed to
wrong.
any
Yeah, you have a
penalty.
minus 20 on it again. Yeah, so go ahead and remember that your cold shots.
Are just standard.
Yeah, you actually don't want to roll them as cold shots anymore, because that would give you a negative modifier, which you don't have. So
that
roll
just be
them
standard
as...
then.
In standard gives
Would
you an
it
extra
be-
plus 10 that you don't rightfully have, so I don't know what would be best. Semi-auto. Roll semi-auto. Semi-auto doesn't have a
Semi-auto.
modifier.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, that's 2 degrees of success. Go ahead and roll damage.
And
Wow!
Yeah.
Check for Righteous Fury. Holy
That's
shit, we
plus
very rarely get Righteous
3.
Fury.
as well.
Okay. Plus 3, or is that the penetration?
That's mighty shot add half BS bonus to range damage rolls.
Oh shit. Okay. Let's go ahead and roll your Righteous Fury first. Righteous Fury basically lets you do a crit.
Ooh.
But basically you deal critical damage without necessarily dealing critical damage. Let me just... We never get Righteous Fury. It never fucking comes up. And when you do it, it's... Okay, so roll me a d10. And this is energy damage to the leg. Okay. That literally doesn't matter. Okay, good Righteous Fury. It doesn't do anything to an enemy like this. But the mighty shot with a freaking hot shot las pistol to the leg is absolutely fucking brutal. While it has pretty good damage reduction, the hot shot las blasts are so hot, it just pierces a hole in the leg. Like, straight up, exactly where you shoot, there's a hole in the mechanical flesh. The whole creature will lurch forward and have to catch itself with the other leg and with its blade arm, causing it to scratch into the ground and make quite a cacophonous noise. But it doesn't go down. It doesn't go down in one. Nearly, though. Caius.
What are we looking at with this thing? Does it have a working brain that I can play with, or no?
Servitors are a mixed bag.
Yeah.
You don't know how much brain is in this servitor, or how much is machine.
Well, looks like I'm gonna have to do a thing, man. I'm gonna... a second here.
Gonna cause a psychic phenomenon?
No. I'm actually gonna I'm opening up my gear tab and dusting off the looks of it here. I'm gonna go
Probably
in.
don't have a weapon equipped right away, so you'd have to use a half action to equip.
Oh yeah. You're right.
It's not
you're
like Caius would be rocking his gun right now.
No. I guess not. No, I wanna.
That's fine though, because you're still only half action.
Yeah. I want to pull out my chain blade, and
Hell yeah.
we'll be taking out that other leg, I think. So let's do a little.
You would not be in range, so you'd have to equip the blade and then walk closer. It will get closer.
Yeah.
Which with your speed wouldn't be enough anyway. It's 5 meters away.
Oh,
well,
shit.
you could charge, but that's a full action.
Oh.
So
well, I
what you
guess I
could
could
do
shoot then.
instead is either you could shoot, or you could get out the chain blade and prepare an Overwatch action for if it gets
Yeah.
within range with the chain blade.
I could lasgun it in the leg. Yeah.
Yeah, you could lasgun it in the leg as well.
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
do that.
You can't make a cold shot because that's a full action, so it's just going to be a regular standard shot with an extra +10 for being close.
No aim, right?
No aim, nah. You guys never aim.
And you said with plus 10?
Yep, further plus 10 for close range. Or short range, whichever.
Input. Yeah, let's re-roll that. You
That's
know,
a failure. You want to
feel
use a fate point to re-roll that? Yeah.
Yeah. What is? No,
That's still bad. That's still a failure.
I got 2 fate points. We can, let's try that one more time. This, I'm a gambling man. Last time this worked out well. It's, boy, I don't know how to use weapons, folks.
Yeah, you pull out the las gun and just kind of like try to aim.
What the hell is
and this
this
is like
thing?
one shot too. You weren't like doing semi-auto or full auto or whatever else the las gun can do. So it's just prepare your shot and just. And it's just like just slightly missed.
I turned to Yen. How do you work these things?
I mean, it's pretty
Now,
easy,
Ali.
you know?
Yes.
Just go pew.
You have your auto pistol ready, so you don't
I
have to do
do.
that charade.
Nope.
Do you want to shoot it? If so, how?
No. I am taking a full aim action.
Nice.
Oh, to shoot it next turn. That's very wise.
Yep.
That's very wise. Okay, cool. And you were
Which
also
one
kind
will
of
that
away
be?
from the pack as well.
Will I need to use a roll for that?
You don't need a roll for that. That's just prep. That's going to
Okay.
give you a plus 20 modifier to your shot
Cool.
next turn, which is also really good because if your auto pistol, you can fire that full auto,
Yep.
which has a negative modifier, but the full aim counteracts it, right?
Yep.
Okay. Next is the Servitor, which is going to rush forward. It's going to rush forward, and it's going to make one attack against Risa, first of all. It's not quite within charge range, I think. Well, I mean, it is. It is. This is a charge. It's 4 meters or more.
Is there a battle map here, Ollie?
No, no
Oh,
battle
okay.
map.
Just making sure.
Theater of the mind.
Just making sure.
Yep. Just a stinky, bloody apartment. Alright. Risa. It's going to strike at you with the neural whip implanted on its left arm. Do you want to try and dodge that?
Would it be more beneficial for me to like try to parry it, or?
You can't parry without a melee weapon equipped.
Okay. Yeah.
Although learning how to parry with a heavy flamer is something I would be willing to let you do at some point,
Sure.
because it's actually something that orcs can do.
Okay. Well,
Funnily enough.
is it something that I can attempt to try to block in any way other than trying to dodge
Yeah,
it?
that's
That would
all
be
just
the
a
parry
dodge.
thing. Okay,
Yeah.
for sure. So yeah, I would absolutely try
Dodge
to
and
block.
parry do the same thing. It's just parry, you can get more modifiers based on the weapon you use
Sure.
to do it, because it's like swordplay.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely try to dodge it then.
Okay, try and give me a dodge roll, see what you get.
Okay. Oh no.
Do you want to re-roll that?
No.
Okay. The neural whip will strike you, Risa. As it does, you feel your nerves alighting with fire. You're an Arbite. As is necessary for your training, you do have to learn how to withhold strikes from shock mauls and neural whips. And you knew it was coming, and you knew what it would feel like. This is actually shocking. So it's going to deal 10 damage to the 33. It doesn't really matter. All your armor's the same. But just for the check of it, that is going to be to the body. 10 damage. It doesn't have any penetrating, but it does do shocking. Are you going to take any damage from that? What's your armor on your body like?
10.
Hey! You can give me a toughness check with a +0.
Nice.
Okay.
Aw.
You are going to be stunned for your next round, but it's not actually going to do much more than that, which is advantageous to you. And then it's going to strike at the Dominus with its other weapon. So that's going to be fun. Basically, the creature lurched with great speed, striking with both its weapons. It is going to hit the Dominus. The Dominus is going to try and parry, because of course you would. Let me check his parry skill real quick, because he's basically wielding the axe as his main weapon right now. And it's a good thing that you got him on board, because having a Dominus with a big, powerful... Oh no, his parry is almost impossible to make, which is a shame. But let me try and make it anyway. No, he attempts briefly to lurch his weapon in the way of the mono blades that are being struck at him with the other arm of the servitor, but he cannot do so. It's going to deal a lot of damage, and you're going to be glad that you got him to soak up some hits from you, because it's going to deal 13 damage with 2 of that penetrating. With an 88, it's actually going to be to one of the legs as well, which is pretty fucking brutal. Like, the Dominus has to, like, go down to one knee from the strike. But he will get a chance to attack back with his axe. In his action. No modifier. He's going to hit. The servitor is going to attempt to parry. This is what happens when you bring on influence NPCs. It's actually going to attempt to dodge. It's actually going to be better at dodging. Still going to miss. It's going to take damage from the Omniscient Axe, which is pretty hefty because it's a power weapon. Roll 1d10 plus 7 plus that. Hey, look at that. 13 again. And that's going to heft, I think, just barely missing the head. That's like in the right shoulder. And I'm actually going to roll critical damage to see if that hefts up an arm, because it's quite close. No, that's not going to be it. So, like, the Omniscient Axe hefts into the shoulder of the Servitor, and you can end up seeing the little bit of bone that still remains, and then all the mechanical components as it has to lurch the axe out. But then the Tech Priest is going to take on much more of a defensive stance on the ground and put its focus into communicating in Technolingua. Risa is currently stunned, so it's going to be your turn.
Well, in all fairness, Ohm is probably not going to be capable of doing much here.
Yeah.
He'll just sort of...
It's true.
Yeah, he'll just sort of be keeping himself out of the way and moving behind combat. You know, he's as far across the room as he could probably manage.
Which isn't
I'm sure Euron is loving this, though.
Oh yeah, like all the chaos, especially as another Tech Priest getting beaten down. All the way back round to Yen. Do you want to do the same thing as last time? What's the plan? There's still a glowing hole in the leg of the creature that you can occasionally see it buckle as you've just carved a hole through the bones and nano-weave flesh.
Worked before, I'm gonna do it again.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a success. Go ahead and roll damage.
Nice.
Plus 3 to that.
That's pretty good. Go ahead and roll me a d10.
Yeah.
Oh, you're rolling pretty bad on. Actually, no, that's actually really good. Okay, so at this point, the second strike, much like a tower of Jenga, the leg no longer has enough secure strength to stay together, and the whole like lower leg is just going to splinter and become a red hot stump that has to kind of lean on slightly. You've actually reduced its movement by half, which is could be really useful if it gets tired of toying with Ricer and the Tech Priest. Meaning the rest of you could escape. Caius.
Yeah.
With that, and at this point you also can see that the Servitor is not interested in messing with Ricer and the Tech Priest. You know, the Tech Priest is putting on this kind of defensive stance that's basically preparing wireless cyberware attacks against it. It's kind of lurched and turning towards you, the neural whip kind of moving like it has a will of its own.
Is a full aim like a full action?
A full aim is your full turn. You can do a half action, half aim, and then a half action shoot, and that gives you a benefit. A
I'll do a
las
half
gun,
action, half aim.
additionally,
Uh-huh.
you may have interest in.
I've got like semi-auto and everything.
Yeah, you may want to do semi-auto. So what semi-auto does, instead of having the +10 modifier for single action aim, every 2 degrees of success is an extra shot. As you do a burst.
Let's try
of
it
3.
out. I can't roll worse than last time, right?
It's true. Do you want to do a
Well,
half action
you know.
aim first?
Well, you know.
Yep. It's a failure.
All right. All right. Well, let's just try to semi-auto regular shot it then.
If you did aim, then that would be your full turn.
Yeah.
Because the aim is a half action, the shot is half action. So, that would be you sending a fire of las blasts kind of towards it, but if they hit, they're ineffective. Early, while all that chaos has gone on and the Servitor has lunged forward and been moving, you've just been training your sights on it.
Yep. And now
Okay.
it's time to time to cash in on that. I am gonna do a full auto burst with my auto.
Okay. The way the attack system works on the sheet is it basically asks what you want to be doing. So if you do full auto burst and then full aim on it and plus short range, you'll have a pretty hefty modifier.
Yep. Only my character sheet would load properly.
Sometimes it takes a sec. But it's much easier to run a game like this with nice character sheets than
Yep.
trying to remember everything off the top of the head.
Okay, there we go. Okay, I just loaded it up again. Okay, cool. So I'm in the gear screen.
Yep.
And I go. Hit which button? Modify.
So if you go press the hit button first under your auto pistol, and then it will basically ask what you want to be doing. And you can say full auto with a full aim.
Oh,
plus
hit.
short
I
range.
see it.
Mhm.
Full aim. Submit. Short range. Submit. Full auto.
Yeah,
There
it's a
we
bit
go.
like XL sometimes getting.
And no modifier, correct?
No further modifier. You've already got like a plus 30. That's 2 degrees of success, which means it's going to be 3 shots.
Cool.
Yes. Let me double check. 1 hit for every so it's going to be 2 shots. So roll damage twice.
Okay, roll damage twice. Got it.
Mm-hmm. And that is going to consume 10 ammo, by the way, because you're doing a full spray.
Oof.
That's Righteous Fury.
Nice.
Which is amazing. That would strike the body as well. Go ahead and roll 1d10 and then another 1d10 for me. Because it's also going to be critical damage from just how injured it is.
Oh, I hit the wrong button.
Yeah. What type of damage is this? Is this just impact damage? I think so. Impact damage body.
I hit the wrong button there.
That's fine. Roll me a d10.
All right. As Arlene.
And at this point, you essentially have a secret modifier. Yeah, the target jerks back from the force of the attack, throws its head back, and spews out jets of, in this case, it's going to be blood and also mechanical unguents and things like that. As, yeah, it's now kind of forced into this awkward position, and just the bullets can just wreck through the center of the body. It's going to be thrown 1d10 meters away, and anyone in the way would have had a risk of being knocked prone. But there's no one there. So it's just going to be thrown into the workbench on the back, knocking all of these things around, all of that sort of thing. And go ahead and roll the second damage for me, just to see what it would be. Yeah, and you can... multiple bullets are still going to wreck through the machine, the servitor. It's very swiftly you realize when, you know, the spray is over that there is no more life left in the machine, just smoking bullet holes riddling its chest now. In some areas, just the machine and flesh is like ruptured outwards, and there's now this big spray of oil from where it was and where it is, and splattered all over the walls. Yeah.
Nice.
The machine is defeated with the head completely unharmed too. Which is, you know,
that's good stuff.
Something. Okay. With that, Erlene has put the machine down, and the
Amateurs.
Dominus is that what Erlene says?
Yeah. You and Yen, you know, tore this thing
I'm the
up.
pro. Remember, I'm the professional here.
And Yen's Yen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, listen,
This
I
is what
pulled
you
out
pay.
a gun
That's
too.
what they
I
pay
wanna...
me. This is what they pay me the big bucks for.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
That's where you got the bar.
Okay. As the tech priest Dominus can start to interact with the machine and take its eyes and records for you, I think that's the end of today's session. With you putting down that machine, being able to come at it with a real analytic.
Very important moment. I am going to reload.
Yeah. Very wise. Yeah, you're like one of the only people that needs to worry about ammo too, because you're not using like las weapons or psycho powers or Rice's big old tank of gas on her back.
I'm just an old-fashioned shoot 'em and slash 'em.
Thank you so much, Ollie, and well done to our entire cast here at Fable Scraps. This is DoomLore, a 40k story. If you're listening to the show on podcasting apps such as Spotify or Stitcher, be sure to know that we recorded this show live every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific. That's 6 p.m. Eastern here at twitch.tv/FableScraps. We also store our VODs on YouTube. Be sure to check out our channel there and hang out with us on Discord and social media like Twitter. That was so good. That last little bit was like a movie. Let's go around and do a little bit of a shout out for everyone. Ollie, why don't you kick us off here?
Hey, I'm Ollie. I GM here on this here Friday show. I also do things on my own Twitch, twitch.tv/OllieRant, that's OLIRANT. I have a show on Wednesdays at 7 p.m., currently GMT, going to be BST soon, which is a Underrealm game connected to the upcoming board game series. It has a lot of interesting things the party is going to be exploring, and Shadow Realm Asylum soon. They couldn't resist the call to the creepy place. There's also a lot of stuff on my Twitter about what we're working on, so the best place to kind of find all that stuff up is to follow me in all the places.
Awesome. Thank you, Ollie. Next up is Lucid Fox.
Hi, my name's Lucid Fox. If you all enjoyed that fight, then good news. We're actually going to have a NFT of Erlene delivering the killing blow, piece of artwork up on twitch.tv/LucidFox soon. So head on over there and come enjoy that.
Let's go.
Thank you, Lucid. Next up is Lock the Raven.
I'm Lock the Raven. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch, and you can also catch me on Fable Scraps' other show, Star Trek Loveless, on Tuesdays. And catch me on Twitch and Twitter at Lock the Raven, spelled like it sounds.
Thank you, Locke. Chelsea.
Hello, I am Chelsea, XYChelsea87 on Twitch, XYChelsea on Twitter. I mostly stream video games and technology content on Twitch, as well as provide political commentary on Twitter, other thoughts and musings, and yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome, thank you. Enovan.
Hello there, I'm Enovan. I'm a streamer here on Twitch. Typically, I stream roleplay games and some VR games as well. You can find me at twitch.tv/Enovan. That's ENEVUN.
Thank you, Enovan. My name is Nicotine. I play Risa here on DoomLore. I also DM Fable Scraps' other show, Star Trek Adventures Loveless, that takes place on twitch.tv/Fable Scraps every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific. That's 6 p.m. Eastern. Just want to give another really big thank you to our cast and our lovely DM and all of those wonderful viewers out there on twitch.tv and everyone who's watching the VODs or listening to the podcasts. Y'all are great. And if you want to interact with us or with each other on Discord, you can do so at fablescraps.com/Discord. We'll be back next week with more DoomLore, a 40K story. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.